the reality is it's not perfect 10s, this, that. It's people don't like high maintenance women. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
another
perfect 10, you know.
Yeah, that's another element. I mean, sometimes you could just look at a woman, the way she's dressed, the way she's made up, and just realize that's a headache right there, man.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to be responsible for all that?
And I come from an era, you know, I'm a perfect blend of eras where
Bubba only shoots fish in the barrel.
I'm in the perfect mix of the eras where, you know, perfect blend where for a large part of my life, you had to walk up to women and introduce yourself and try to get the number, have a line ready or something like that. And then you got the social media era where you really, you know, it's really easy. You know, it's really easy. And you can, you know, with social media and with like you know, IG and whatever, and the dating apps is what the word I was looking for. You can shoot up. You can shoot up as high as you want to shoot up because it's just a quick message. They either gonna read it or leave you unread or reply back or not reply back, and it's like a 2-minute thing, and you keep going, and it's like, and it doesn't bother you at all. Cardi B claims that men prefer less attractive women because they are more submissive than perfect 10s.
Talk your shit, Pink.
That's you. I mean, it is interesting. Like, you do hear, like there are extremely attractive women that will contend like nobody talks to them. You know, that their beauty is like literally a deterrent because maybe guys don't feel that they got a legit chance. You know, and I would think like, you know, a lot of time, I mean, guys, nobody likes to be rejected. You have to accept it as part of life or you're going to get nowhere. But it's like, again, you're going to look at certain people and you're going to make an evaluation. Oh, they're attractive and I think I've got a chance versus, oh yeah, like, you know, this other chick's, you know, not going to give you the time of day. I don't know if submissive is the notion, like, necessarily. I think that's maybe
that's
the wrong
problem
word.
That's the problem with the way she said it. And the reality is it's not perfect 10s, this, that. It's people don't like high maintenance women. And that's a perfect 10, you know.
Yeah, that's another element. I mean, sometimes you could just look at a woman, the way she's dressed, the way she's made up, and just realize that's a fucking headache right there, man.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to be responsible for all that?
Yeah. I mean, I told you before, man. I don't walk into any shows that I can't get into. I don't believe I can't get into. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know, and you know, so, you know, and I said it, you know, you know, because you got women who you know, that I may have talked to in the past, but it's like, you know, I had full confidence that I was going to get this phone number. You know what I mean? And I come from an era, you know, I'm a perfect blend of eras where
Bubba only shoots fish in the barrel.
I'm in the perfect mix of the eras where, you know, perfect blend where for a large part of my life, you had to walk up to women and introduce yourself and try to get the number, have a line ready or something like that. And then you got the social media era where you really, you know, it's really easy. You know, it's really easy. And you can, you know, with social media and with like, you know, IG and whatever, and the dating apps is what the word I was looking for. You can shoot up. You can shoot up as high as you want to shoot up because it's just a quick message. They either gonna read it or leave you unread or reply back or not reply back, and it's like a 2-minute thing, and you keep going, and it's like, and it doesn't bother you at all. Versus an in-person interaction with that same woman.
That's a really good point. Like again, yeah, like to you know, to just shoot a DM at somebody, the risk reward is non-existent, you know. And remember when we had the Ludwine in here?
Yeah.
And she was kind of had that angle where it's like, well, the women that are on IG that people are going in the DM, that's what men want. But there is a reality, like, you don't necessarily want that. You'll hit it if you could, but it's like you're not pursuing that to be in some serious relationship. Right. You know what that is. Yeah. You know, she's posted these pictures in a bikini and whatever, and there's, you know, she's got, you know, 100,000 followers or more, and, you know, you're, you know, maybe the 83rd DM of the last 2 hours. Like, like that's what it is. Like, and we all kind of know that. Like, but when you're talking about somebody who's extremely attractive or whatever that you see in person or know or kind of come across, and then you have a chance to, like, okay, am I going to talk to them or not talk to them, or how am I going to go about it if I am? Like, that's a whole different dynamic.
This is just a completely different
dynamic.
It's
2 different events, like, completely.
Yeah. That's a
but of
preseason
course,
NBA game.
It's something
versus...
said by Cardi B, so it's patently wrong. Fucking moron.
Man. Yeah. No, I don't think it's patently wrong. I understand you're saying because it's coming from her.
The submissive.
It's a decent message coming from the wrong messenger.
The submissive is, I think, a bad take. I don't think that's really it. Yeah. Throwing that word in there. Because here's the thing. If you break this sentence down, claims that men prefer less attractive women. Do you think when she's saying this, she's putting herself in the category of less attractive women?
I think she is.
I don't think she is.
Jason doesn't think so either. Jason thinks she's trying to say that she's a 10 and not a lot of people come
100%. Because she used the word submissive. That's why. Because if she didn't use the word submissive, then she might put herself in that class. Whatever you think about Cardi B, I'll give her this. She's probably an alpha person. She's an achiever. She gets shit done. She doesn't see herself as submissive in this context.
I don't know, man.
Maybe at the end of a long day, she might like to get spanked and shit choked. That's okay, like if that's your thing. But she is not in this context of sentence. And the fact that she chose to use the word submissive means she does not see herself in that category.
Oh, you're definitely not alone in that theory. All right.
Bryson, do you agree or disagree?
Nah, for sure. But like, I took it like as she's kind of saying that guys like girls that, I mean, it's kind of a weird time because there's some girls that you kind of think men have an expectation that they want women to listen and do things. I mean, that's kind of what it was 20, 30 years ago. You had expectations that women do this and that. But then on the other side, there's music from Cardi B, which I know is another point coming up. That's like, you know, women should not listen to the man, should have their own expectations. And yeah, men are in between, kind of thinking, okay, is this the new normal, or do we still have women out there that are like, we can still depend on for certain things? So I think that's also why men are kind of like, maybe a little less attractive, but a little more listens and gets some shit done. Can go a long way.
You're saying men are seeking women that, like, so you're kind of agreeing a bit.
Yeah, okay. But I wouldn't say it like that. You know, I just think it's like, okay, if you're super high maintenance and you think you're all that, like, I'm just not going to bother. Like, no man has the time for this. But, you know, if there's another girl that's super nice, she's kind of more traditional, she gets shit done, and maybe she's not the baddest girl ever, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'd be a lot happier here.
Yeah.
And you do. I know I struggle with that sometimes. Because a lot of people say, like, yeah, get a woman that'll, you know, whatever, do for you. It's a certain term that they say, not do for you, but basically, you know, that does things for you. You know what I mean? And that's good for you. On the flip side of getting a woman that just looks good or has the biggest ass or things like that, and it's like, well, you try to look for a blend of both, but at the same time, a lot of times you have to make a decision.
Tough choices have to be made.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's true.
Make a decision. It's one or the other. And,
no, in my negative view of women, I think that we are in like a time where, you know, there is this almost fluidity of, you know, being a traditional woman and wanting a guy to take care of and do certain things, and then kind of being this independent woman. And I think that most women kind of just use that as they see fit in any given circumstance. It's very fluid. Like, you may meet somebody who comes off as like the 10 and the high maintenance or whatever, but, you know, like, then there'll be a dynamic in that, you know, where they'll kind of play the other card if they think it suits them. I think women are largely chameleons. It's kind of a thing too, like you talked about. Like, so if you start talking to somebody or whatever, suddenly they're like a big fan of the podcast. Yeah. And if it goes kind of south, like, they'll never watch it again. Never. Like, you're not really a fan of what we're doing. You're just a fan of Bubba at the moment. Like, that's all that is. You know. Man, I just think that's like a common thing.
Yeah. Screw you.